with you. We can't answer.
Mr.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of our Smart Solutions webinar series, Europe. In today's webinar, we're going to be going through a very special and new topic from our team here at Tuya today, which is secure smart homes for home builders. Now, just a bit of admin before we start today's webinar is that you may notice that today's background and setting is a little bit different to previous webinars. That is because this is a pre-recorded session due to some urgent issues that we've had here in terms of scheduling, that we're just doing a playback for you today, and this will be available later on. But do take note that we have someone available, and if you have any questions throughout the duration of the webinar, you can post them in the Q&A or in the chat box, and we can assure you all will be collected and answered in the follow-up of the webinar and shared to you on that Google Drive that will have all other relevant materials from the whole series as well. So admin to the side, now we can kick off and get started with today's webinar. And I would like to firstly introduce myself. You've met me a few times now. I'm Dylan Sutton, the marketing manager for the European region here at Tuya Smart. And with me today, I have a very special guest, Mr. Daniel Shane. Daniel is the product director for Tuya's Intelligent Business Solutions and the true mastermind behind what we're going to be learning in terms of our new solution today. So welcome to Daniel. Could you give a quick introduction to yourself?
Thanks, Dylan. Hey guys online, I'm Daniel Shane from Tuya Intelligent Business Group. Right now, I'm in the charge of the product team.
Perfect. So today, Daniel's going to be giving us a lot more information about the brains and the mind behind our latest solution and how it differs a little bit from what we have already. So today's setup is going to be a little bit different to some of the previous webinars, as we're going to be introducing in detail how exactly the solution works. This is the first time I believe all of you would have seen this solution in comparison to some of those that we presented, such as for hospitality or residential or commercial lighting, which have been available in international markets for some time. So we're going to be giving a first introduction to what do we mean by Tuya House and Real Estate, some market insights, an introduction to the product itself and how it differs to our existing products, and then some guides on how to get started. So just like we've done in every webinar, but probably more important today than ever, is a reminder for all of you who haven't seen already that we do have within Tuya 4 different solutions targeted towards different markets, both for residential, smart buildings or commercial lighting, hospitality, and then today's latest one, which is Tuya House and Real Estate, or a smart home solution designed for home builders. So in a second, we're going to delegate the difference between these in terms of the product level. But before I do that, I would just like to remind that each of these individual solutions has specialist team and then also a different product available. So please, if you want a solution for that particular market, do remember that we have a specific product solution available for you, both for software and hardware. Now let's dive in and look at exactly what is Tuya House and Real Estate. So the first thing we're going to look at here is a bit of a solution overview, that what is actually included in terms of product and what can you achieve when using this solution. So I guess I'll roll in Daniel to give a bit more of an introduction to what we're seeing on the screen.
Actually, our smart home and real estate solutions, we provide a set of solutions including software and hardware. So you can see on the slide, the bottom is hardware. We have already selected a batch of smart home devices in the Tuya ecosystem, and which are more suitable for European families. And all the smart devices are tested by Tuya, so the qualities all can be guaranteed. And when it comes to the software, we provide 2 parts. The first is brand owner SaaS, which can help our clients to manage their own brand channels, and of course they can control their products in the brand dimension. And meanwhile, we provide a set of very useful tools such as scheme design, scheme quotation, batch construction, and remote maintenance and operation tools to help our clients to run the business more and better. And of course, we also provide a resident app for OEM, which means our clients can establish their own brand resident app. In this app, we can provide smart devices control and automation services, but also we will continue to launch more and more subsystems solutions such as smart lighting, home energy, and home home care, and some other smart home solutions. And of course, if you purchase our smart community solutions, this app can also provide some community services or features. Yeah, that's our solution we can provide.
Sure. I think what we'll do is that we'll lead on in a bit and find out about who exactly is the target client for this. Will help specify a little bit more for these customers who are on the call today. But just as a bit of a summary here as well, is if we look on the screen, we have software, hardware, and solutions is what Daniel's just been running through. So we can see that on the top side here, we have something that might be a bit confusing for those of you used to the smart home space, which is a SaaS platform. Now, we'll look in a minute and see why we need a SaaS platform for the rollout of smart home in the real estate industry. But just before we do that, we'll keep you waiting just for a second and reintroduce the key business models that we have for this sector. And these actually apply to all of Tuya's SaaS or smart industry solutions. So that means that when working with Tuya, we can provide you with out-of-the-box solutions for software and hardware that allow you to go and deliver service. All three of the things you see on the screen will be revenue streams for your business. So for the SaaS we provide, we can white label and reskin the whole thing that we'll see today. This can be sold as a recurring revenue model on the software. Secondly, we have hardware, all of which can be sourced from Tuya's powered by Tuya suppliers and factories, and can be white labeled and rebranded to your business and sold alongside the software. And then finally, for service, what we provide is actually within the software, we'll learn more about that today, is the tools for you deploying a range of smart homes and smart products, and then also managing the after sales for that, which will be another revenue stream for your business. So with all this in mind, so far it all looks a bit similar for those of you who are familiar with Tuya Residential, which is our solution for the smart rental market. But I guess, Daniel, what do you think is the key difference, and why did we make a new product for home and real estate?
Well, the main thing is the business scenario and the target portrait. Target client portrait is different, are different. And when it comes to the Tuya residential solution, actually this is for long-term rental scenario, such as corporate living, student housing, and some work accommodation, and so on. Well, the Tuya House and Real Estate, this solution is launched for the houses which are built for sale, which means Tuya Residential is for those built for rent, and Tuya House and Real is for those built for sale.
I think that's the best way to think about it, is that because we also still, people get confused about Tuya Residential and the hospitality solution, particularly those who want to do Airbnb. So in the simplest terms, you need to consider the difference with the use case for the product depends on how long the end user is going to be inside of that space for. So for the hospitality solution, think about your hotels or your Airbnbs, the guest is staying generally for a short period of time. So on the product end, for us, that looks a bit different because we don't provide a downloadable app and the end user cannot customize and reset all the devices in the property. For Tuya Residential, it's slightly different because we have 1 to 2 year rentals and beyond, in which that person living and renting the home does want a bit of control about how they manage the devices within the property. So they do have a downloadable app and they're able to customize a little bit more. But for the house and real estate solution, it's slightly different, is that in terms of the back end and the property management side, is that when I'm buying a house, I don't necessarily want the range of control available from my property manager. So for example, let's take smart locks. In a rental property, often it's common that we want to enable our property manager to have full control of all the door locks in that property, because they technically own them and they're leasing out these, which means if there's guests coming into the property, it's common that there'll be a property manager at the front desk, and the resident can either choose to use their own app or ask the property manager to access or open that door for them. Now, for this solution, it's slightly different because we're selling a house. So I don't want my construction company 10 years later having access to be the person who's managing my front door. Now, this is why we built a bit of a separate product, because the way the account structure and the user case works is slightly different compared to a rental scenario in which we do still want the physical home owner, i.e. the property company or property manager, to have a wider degree of control over those devices, not necessarily within, but associated with the home. So what we'll clear up now is a bit more of a specific example of the type of companies we have worked with already, and then also we'll continue to look to be working with. Now, just a quick note before we do this, guys, is that this solution actually isn't a completely newly launched one. This has been running in mostly the China and East Asian market for about 1 to 2 years now. But this launch that we're having today is to make an announcement of it's now finally available for international markets. So with that in mind, let's have a look at some of the companies, particularly in Europe, that we believe have a great opportunity to leverage this. So firstly, the most obvious one is real estate developers. So these are companies building and selling houses, and that they need a solution that they can manage the mass deployment of smart homes across 100 to 1,000 homes that they wish to sell. That's why we built the solution for them. Then also for home furnishing brands, which is a bit of an interesting case, is that they will also provide home design and services to those home builders, but often they will go and source, for example, smart home and lighting products. Here also, we now believe that instead of offering these products just for one home, they can complement the rest of their services and offer a full solution so that they can make more revenue by deploying across a wider range of homes. And then I guess for this one, I think it's quite interesting. So Daniel, for IoT hardware brands who are typically B2C, what do you think is the opportunity in this sector and in the real estate industry?
Yeah, a lot of IoT hardware brands, they have cooperated with Tuya before to develop the smart devices, such as my switch and smart sockets and smart lighting, dimming, and so on. When the company they wanted to transform to the smart home, especially the whole house smart home scenarios, they find out they need to upgrade and expand their products and moods. Mm-hmm. So we provide OEM or ODM services, not only the software but also the hardware to them to help them to transform the brand to the smart home solution providers.
I see. So the idea is that for me, if I am a smart home brand, and currently I'm selling mostly through B2C channels, so for example, retail.
Yeah.
But how would I then get my products to be sold directly to, say, a real estate developer, and I can be their chosen partner? Would that be that I would then offer them not only my physical product, but I can say, I have a solution for you that you can integrate my products very easily into the whole home. So you don't need to pay for the guy we see on screen here, which might be the systems integrator, is because I can offer you a ready-made solution for the installation and management of all of my devices that I have.
Yes.
Okay.
In the past, there may be sales smart devices on online channels or offline channels, such as retail stores or Amazon. But in this B2B solution, especially their business not based on the B2B modes, they launch or provide or offer a set of solutions, including software and hardware powered by Tuya. They can sell them to such as real estate companies and home builders to launch their smart solutions.
I see. It's interesting. And I think for the final one is for systems integrators. Now, my understanding of this one would be that I'm sure there's been many systems integrators who are potentially on the call, who have had requests in the past from the real estate developer to build a solution for integrating smart home products into the property. So I assume the logic here is that instead of using your human resource to have to build this solution as a custom solution for the real estate developer,
Yes.
actually we have all of this is ready for your business. Is that right?
Yes.
So I think what we can kind of highlight here is for you, if you're an SI, is that we have the solution to deploy all of these products ready, not only as an out-of-the-box SaaS solution that we'll show you today, but also API. So if you're looking to build the logic for a real estate developer to deploy a large number of smart homes and smart products, do take a look at this solution here. Secondly, also, and generally the way in which 2 Years business model typically works is that you have the opportunity not only to take the revenue from selling your software services, you can do also your own hardware brand. So I know in many cases, the SI will be able to take existing brands of hardware and then resell that for a slight margin. What we're trying to offer here, guys, is the opportunity, should you wish, to build your own brand of hardware and increase that margin you take in delivering solutions. So now we'll take a look at a quick video which summarizes a bit about the vision we have about for home builders. This is what your homes that you're selling can look like and how you're going to add value to that home.
Let's do it. Alexa, make the water a little cooler.
The water temperature has been lowered. Make a cup of decaf coffee. Your tea cake will be ready soon.
Oh, my key. Alexa, show me the recipe.
Put butter into pan, then add the steak. The lights are on mode.
So guys, that was a bit of a lot to unpack there in that section. But what we're trying to display to you, particularly for those of you who are looking to develop these solutions into your own properties to sell, is that the full range of everything you saw on that video is what we call powered by Tuya. So whether or not it's the doorbell, the panel inside of the home that can control all the devices, whether or not it's the fridge or the cooker, all of those devices are available on the Tuya ecosystem and can be integrated into your solution that is included in that home that you sell. So you no longer have to think about integrating different brands and then putting those into your homes and making it very difficult for that end user. All of this and all the range of products is compatible and integrated ready into the range of solutions that we're about to show you. But first, we're going to take a look at some insights, particularly from the European market, and where we see an opportunity for developing these solutions. So we're going to have a quick look at some data of the overall smart home market worldwide and where does Europe fit into that section. So the first one is a nice little bit of good news, is that we do see projected growth for the smart home market, and particularly in the European market now, is that even though it's not necessarily a majorly high growth region, it's massively matured. However, with that being said, over the past 3 years with COVID, on a global scale, we did notice consumer demand for smart home products in some categories taking a slight dip. This is largely due to tightened consumer spending, but it is now seen and projected that beginning from 2023 and beyond, that growth is going to rebound again. So besides that, one final point is that of all of these products here, within on the bottom right-hand side, in the European market, the leading product category is for smart lighting. So now we want to keep that in mind just for a little bit when we touch upon later the opportunity in blending solutions for your business. Now, just from some research from Statista, we're going to put some figures on the screen that are a positive sign that we think for the growth of the European market, not just for smart home in general, but we're going to have a look at some different product categories and solutions in which we'll see the prominence of that European sector. So the first one is just in terms of control and connectivity, or just the smart home market actually in general, is that we see Europe has the highest projected growth rate of 16.5%, which is a great sign for the coming years. Then in terms of smart security systems, we also see that the European market countries of Norway and then also the UK at number 5 are leading the adoption rate of existing users at the moment. So that's a mature market, and we see existing consumer demand for those solutions. Additionally, also for comfort and lighting, we see that the UK is not only the largest, but the fastest growing market with $1 billion of value. And that is followed also by Germany as well. And then finally, the key one, as we all know for Europe at the moment, is regarding energy management. Now, it's not a surprise that off the back of the ongoing energy crisis is that the countries in Netherlands and the United Kingdom and at the bottom of Norway are leading the way in the adoption of energy management technologies. And we do believe that moving forwards, this trend is going to continue largely in the European region. So do pay attention to this element for your business. Now, research aside, let's take a look at what you're here mostly to see today, which is an overview of this latest solution that we're releasing. So the first thing for when building a smart home solution for the construction industry is that it has to be simple to deploy. So I think we'll lead in Daniel to talk us through this system that we have here on screen and how the home links via a range of potential gateway choices.
Okay, our one-stop smart home solutions are based on 3 parts, and the first we call one smart hub. Actually, we have different types of smart devices. You can see on the slide, there could be a gateway, normal gateway or conventional gateway, and it can be a control panel with gateway. You can do some user interface and do some control, smart control on this panel. And for the single house or the villa or smart communities, we have industrial gateway we call edge computing. When it comes to the 3 main areas in the house, we have comprehensive coverage to enable a smart linkage across your entire room, such as hallway, living room, dining room, and balcony, and so on. So in these 7 main areas, we have recommendation and some smart devices to recommend. In our smart home solutions, we include multiple intelligent subsystems such as electrical, lighting, sensor, security, energy consumption, and based on our mobile phone mini applet technologies, we can launch a set of we will continue to launch a series of subsystem solution, as I just mentioned, such as a home energy saving solution, home security solution, and some other smart home scenario solutions. So that is we call our one-stop solutions, our one-stop home solution was included by OnePlus 7 and 8.
I think the really interesting thing for me when I look at this is two things, and they're both linked around this on the left-hand side, is that number one is that typically European businesses and consumers don't like the idea of including a gateway. So actually it's really interesting and positive to see that our latest control panel solutions, which in themselves are a fantastic device that you can manage your whole home with, actually also acts as a gateway.
Yes.
So that means we don't have to limit the consumer by necessarily having to provide that extra gateway to the home. So this product itself can actually be the gateway.
Actually, these new products can provide diversified and multiple, interface for the end users to get more user experience, to enhance the user experience.
I see. So actually this then kind of as an add-on to that in the second point, is that in terms of deploying the solution, it makes it even simpler. So compared to using, say, a wired solution, which would be costly and quite difficult to manage all the different devices in the property, all you need is to first install this control panel, or should you wish, the gateway, and then you can choose to modularly add the number or the letter N, so any range of devices on the ecosystem that you wish. So this will be the core. Select your areas and then add any necessary devices you want.
The smart heart is the brain,
Yeah.
and the intelligent subsystem, the body.
Got it. And then on top of here is the hardware ecosystem for Tuya smart home solutions, many of which you will also be very, very aware of. But I think some interesting things here to highlight as well is that sometimes, particularly with systems integrators, that they don't always necessarily want to go and build their full own brand range of hardware. Now, of course, for any of those of you who are interested in doing so, that is the typical model for Tuya. But what you will be glad to know is that given the wide range of partners and manufacturers that we work with, we are able in your local region to see if there's any local distribution or storage partners of devices that we can easily integrate into this solution. So for example, if you only wanted to begin by building a brand of solutions to sell for smart lighting and electrical products, but you had a real estate developer client who had the need for smart door locks or a smart intercom, well, not to worry, because we can check and see which of our compatible partners are in your local region. And rather than you running the systems integration yourself, it's already integrated into the solution. So it can just be plugged and played like we saw on that last slide. Now, regarding the specific product here itself, and this is something we really want to dig into, is that on the product level for the end user with this app that we can see here, what is different for these guys compared to a user that's living in a medium to long-term rental property? So what are some of the solutions and functions you think are worth highlighting here, Daniel?
Yeah, actually, this app or resident app is a part of our smart home solutions, and we call this app is one app with all smart experience. So in this app, we can provide a smart home device control and automation experience, but also this app is actually focusing on the whole house smart scenarios. So as I just mentioned, they will include a series of smart subsystems. And one more thing is that it can include the indoor and outdoor solutions, such as if the real estate company or the brand owners, they launch the indoor and outdoor solution together, this resident app can have common areas, device control or other operational services. And this app can be can support the device management, because as I just mentioned, a lot of our clients they want to brand their own brand channels, so they don't want they want to control the products in the brand dimension. So these products, this app can support it.
I see. I think that the thing that's standing out to me is this little screenshot on the
Yes.
left-hand side.
Yes.
And then also these here regarding smart scenes. And I understand, having spoken with you about this, is that the vision now for new home owners when they're moving into these smart homes is that they want everything to be as easily as possible configured for them. So we can see here that when they're moving in and buying that house, that sleep mode is already configured for them.
Yes.
And these scenes we'll touch on a bit later, but it's all going to be on that home page when you open the app in moving into the house. Yes, you have the choice to configure your own smart devices and scenes, but what we want is to make it as easy as possible for you, to make it simple for the homeowner to just click a button or give a voice command, and then that home will set to the perfect setting that they need. So in terms of the customization of the solution, guys, it's just a reminder, is that Tuya's own solution is not really designed, or we don't hope for it to be taken and resold directly by your business. The whole point of what we do at Tuya as a business is that we enable you to customize and rebrand it to sell as your own solution. So this is a really interesting example of a client that we work with closely from Thailand, actually. And this is how they customize the full back-end system and app for their end users. And this is what it looked like at the end. So as you can see, and you will see, is particularly different from that kind of original version solution that we built here at Tuya. So beyond that, we can see, because we previously touched on the app side, which we can see here, but we do want to explain a bit about what this is. So this is the back-end platform for that property developer, property manager, systems integrator for managing the installation and after-sales service of these smart homes. So I guess, Daniel, could you introduce a bit more about what kind of functions can be achieved on this back end?
Yeah. In our brand owner SaaS, we provide actually the full lifestyle management tools for our clients, including pre-sales, scheme design, and scheme quotation, and in-sale installation, especially the batch installation. And of course, after sales device operation and maintenance tools for our brand owners. And we can share more details in the later.
Yeah, so I think when looking through these, is that what we're having here is a platform, again, for your business to create the templates, as you said, and deploy a large number of smart homes. So this is why we designed this primarily, is how do we transform one B2C style smart home into a solution, so a smart home as a service solution that can be delivered on a B2B level. So that doesn't just mean also the installation, but additionally, we're looking at the after sales as well, like Daniel just mentioned. So
Yes.
it's that should that end user or homeowner wish to sign an agreement that says in the event of an emergency, or if I think there's any issues, the after sales service doesn't need every single time to immediately pick up the phone and then send someone physically to come to the property. Actually, what this means is that I can opt in and say that I would like for my solution provider or property developer or whoever it was who gave me this system to remotely check the status of the device. So you can see if it's online, you can
Yes.
see how it's working, if there's any issues with it before having to send someone physically.
Yes, all these tools are provided for our clients. Just to, we want to improve their management or service providing efficiency.
I think the underlying thing remains smart home as a service, is that we think that the future generation of homeowners, similarly to the way we have our Wi-Fi installed into the homes, is that we often call out for someone to deliver that solution for us. So what we want now is a platform for the next generation of smart home adoption to be so that there is a provider of that solution itself, so that I don't have to consider about configuring the devices myself. I buy a house and it's ready for me.
Yes,
And then I can contact the service provider should I need regarding the devices within my home.
you know, Tuya has always been a major player in the smart home industry. We have seeing a very important trend that more and more companies, they obtain the whole house smart experience or solutions based on the services provided by the middleman. This middleman could be the home builders, could be the service providers, could be the smart home furnishing company. So our solution is based on this trend. So
I think it's going to be interesting to see for the next generation of homeowners, the millennials, and who are going to have a much stronger demand for these technologies, is that how businesses, hopefully like yours, can leverage that and work alongside the home builders to really push that development of the smart home industry. So additionally, there's some tools and some very interesting ones that define this to your house and real estate solution from the residential one. And I think I'll lead in Daniel to introduce the 3 very interesting tools that we have on screen here.
yeah, well, when it comes to this pre-sale solution design tools, actually this is for the scheme design this stage. We all know that all the smart home solution mostly are customized. The designers or the company or the service provider will provide customization services for their clients. With our tools, they can, based on the layout view, to design the smart home solutions for their clients, and the system will generate the interactive scheme link immediately, and the client can see the effects or the results of the design. And of course, when the clients feel satisfied about the plan or scheme, the system will generate the online quotation immediately, including the smart devices and the price.
I see. So what they can do is that when preparing a quote for, say, a real estate developer or for the house builder or buyer, is that they can put together a design and say, in this 2D model, your home will look like this and include this many devices. Then we'll have a way to calculate that.
Yeah.
And say that, okay, based on the devices and functions that are included, here's how much it's going to cost you. And then additionally, alongside that, here is the library, a catalog of the products.
Yeah, actually, you know what, we're gonna to launch a 3D layout view, which will be more immersive and real. That will highly enhance the experience.
I see. I think that's going to be a great tool for the sales staff.
Yes.
When they're in their meetings, is that they can just put it up, give an image of exactly how it's going to look and how it's going to cost. So for this one, in terms of the in-sale, installation and delivery for those solution providers, could you give a little bit more information about what this means? And then particularly on screen here is that the time difference based on our installation template platform compared to what we've previously seen in the industry.
You know, in the real condition, at my home, maybe we have over hundreds of smart devices, and the network of the condition is not is quite flexible, not very very good. So we provide 2 outstanding features in our batch construction solution. The first is we based on the tablet features, the installation or the integrator can launch the empowerment more efficiently. And the second is we can empowerment or install the smart devices even without the network, which means if you use the Zigbee smart devices without a network or internet, all the empowerment or installation can be finished. That will be very beneficial.
I see. So just firstly, to track back, the logic is that I can say that I'm building 1,000 apartments. They all look the same.
Yeah.
In apartment template A, I'm going to have device 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes,
and then I can send that
yeah.
to be installed as a work order. For the
You
installer.
just set up the messages one time,
Mhm.
and all the hundreds of houses will be in payment.
I see. And then you can use that, for example, as a work order to track after the installer has finished. Those devices will be live on my backend system and I can see the status as well. Oh, that's good. Okay, then for this next part, in just regards to how does the solution itself offer a service beyond managing devices, could you introduce a bit more about how you can leverage the platform and the software product in offering after sales and pre-sale services to customers?
Mhm. Well, I'm gonna introduce this kind of after sales tools. Well, as I just mentioned, we see a trend in this industry. More and more families obtain service from a middleman or service provider or home builders. After they deliver the projects, the end users, they want to get after sales services from this middleman.
Mhm.
So this middleman, such as home builders or brand owners or service providers, they need a system or online tools to help them to provide device operation and maintenance services. So we launched this tool to help our clients to reduce the device operation and maintenance costs and to improve the efficiency of after-sales services, which means they can, based on the end user authorized, the service provider can see the status of the smart devices in the house, and then they can to remote check out the problems or send the work order tasks to the installers to fix the problem immediately.
I see. It's interesting. So I think that makes a huge difference, particularly more on the customer end experience as well, in knowing that I have someone through the same app that I might be having problems with the device, is I can send a work order or a message through the same system and know that there's someone who's able to really understand and see what's going wrong with it, rather than having to pay the money for someone to come to my property, maybe a week later, to fix systems that might be potentially critical. So for example, such as my fire alarm sensing off my lighting. If there happens to be any issues, you want to know there's someone there to fix it immediately.
Yes.
And then for the business, this is why we're making it as easy as possible for you to offer that service to really add value. So the next part in regards to the functionality is kind of a reflection of two things. The first one is a reminder of jumping back to the research section from today, is that for the lighting market in Europe, it is of course the largest product category for smart home. Then the second part is something to understand about how is this solution going to be different compared to your typical, I was going to say traditional, but typical B2C smart home lighting scenario. So I guess, Daniel, could you please explain a bit more about how our lighting scenes and modular solutions are differed on a B2B level to a B2C level?
Yeah. In our, this is an example for one of our solutions, actually. In our smart lighting scheme solutions, we focus on SMB scenarios, which means with hundreds or many devices. We provide advanced algorithm-based dimming or turning solution, and also we launched a lot of lighting scheme library, which means the end users can just click the button and they can enjoy the smart lighting mood. And of course, for those guys, they wanted to they want a deep dimming experience, we can provide control panel or based on our app to control the lighting more deeper, much deeper.
I think there's some huge benefits I see to this, just from looking at what's available. So on a user level, when I'm buying my home, is that I know that I'm going to open up that app that's provided to me,
Yes.
and all it is, like we can see, is the click of a button that's going to set my lighting to how I like it. And normally the way we see this done in the past is that these settings will also be consulted with or between the property developer and the home buyer. So it's not always that they're just trying to guess exactly what the homeowner wants, but it's offered as a custom smart home service, but it's very easy for them to configure. Secondly, I think goes beyond just entertainment, because a great example you gave me before was indeed that when it's Christmas,
Yeah.
all they have to do is open the app, and then it'll be suggesting them, as we can see with the Christmas lighting mode, which is a really
Yes.
fun thing for the family. But on a health level is when we offer circadian lighting for the home. This is going to be really important for that next generation of homeowners who are largely continuing to work from home off the back of the pandemic, is that you can offer a really high-end service that adds great value to the quality of their life through creating natural lighting conditions within the home that match that of the external environment. And particularly for that younger generation, we think it's going to be a really unique selling point for you to offer with your home.
Yeah, we want to actually more and more people can easily obtain the smart lighting experience. And for some people to adjust or set some moods of smart lighting is a little high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to through this way to get more people to experience the smart lighting.
I think that's a key step for adoption and the growth of the technologies, particularly for those of you on the call who are smart home brands.
Yeah.
Is understanding that if you can give as easy as an possible experience for someone to walk into their home and just press a button without having to do the installation, without having to configure the scenes, they'll be lifetime customers then, because they understand and they like how it works and they become used to it. But we believe this is a great opportunity for you if you're trying to grow your products, to give that experience to that user, to have that first time really simple experience. But then on top of that, of course, we don't want it to be that when I bought my house, I cannot customize anything within the property. So what we can see here is just a bit of a summary of that. Similarly to that 2-year smart app or the Smart Life app that you'll be familiar with, is that there will be also a kind of screen within the app, if I'm right, that they can go and customize their scenes and solutions in any way that they wish. Now, what we do encourage with this one, I think, is that if you're selling this solution to a homeowner, that you make sure that before they go and fiddle around with all of this, that you give correct training, and we can help with those systems we showed earlier to provide that, whether it's giving video introductions of how to customize things, or guides or written guides or plans for them to create the right scenes. Make sure that they're in the right hands. And that will massively reduce your after sales service costs. So then the next one is an interesting one, particularly of those, because I'm not sure what the mental image is for many of you on the call today when you picture about a build to sell home. I believe many of you are thinking about that traditional European single family house, but actually many of our existing clients in the Asia Pacific region are still building apartments. So they are therefore within what we call a community, and thus require solutions and functions of products that go beyond just inside of the home.
Yeah.
So I guess, Daniel, could you give a bit more of an intro about what we're seeing on the screen?
As Dylan said, we know that there are a lot of different types of real estate in European. So in our smart home and real estate scenario solutions, we provide indoor and outdoor solution together. But for our clients, they are quite flexible. They can only pick up the indoor solution or smart home solution, and also they can pick up the smart home and smart community solutions to launch the overall user experience.
Right.
And there is one more thing I want to point out. All of our smart devices and our smart home solution can connect to the Amazon Alexa, Google Home, and even the HomeKit. And in the future, we have the plan to launch the Meta solution.
Right.
Yeah. So as Dylan just said, give the example, the real estate company in Thailand,
Mhm.
actually they picked up our indoor and outdoor solution together
Right.
to apply to their upcoming projects
Mhm.
to enhance the living experience for their host owners.
I see. So for their community, they didn't just need the devices inside of the home, but it was
Yes.
also things like elevators and intercom, I assume.
Yeah, actually, they pick up the indoor and outdoor solution together, not only for the user living experience, but also for themselves
Right.
to improve the management efficiency based on our smart community services.
I see. I think, well, there we go. That's a slide that I believe will kind of make that clear for many of you here today. So I'll give a bit of an intro to what we're seeing on screen, is that for many of those functions we've described, particularly for the outdoor environment or outside of the smart home, whether it's for security and camera systems or whether it's for elevators, even though these devices may not necessarily be powered by Tuya, we understand that there is a necessity for many of those projects to have these devices installed and integrated. So actually, Daniel and our team do have the solution available that we can run the integration of many of these products for you, including the brands that we see on the screen.
Yes, out of this brand list, we do provide integrate services, which means we can integrate the local brand.
I see.
Yeah.
And then a few success cases, guys. Most of these are from APAC at the moment, but I think it's a good vision for you guys to understand a bit about what we do and how we've deployed this. So the first one will be Sundi. And I guess, Daniel, could you give a bit more of an introduction about the business and the case?
Yeah. Sundi Services is founded in 1995 and went to public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange in 2021. And they currently they use our smart community solutions to their properties, and they want to best use our smart house and real estate solutions to improve their management efficiency and, of course, enhance the living experience for their house owners or residents. We do a lot of actually 10 or 12 properties in China right now, and it is a great success for them because they have a big improvement based on our smart home and real estate solutions.
I see. So from what I can see on the screen here is that this is like a central control hub.
This is one of their community.
I see. And this is the management office, let's say, and they can see the status of...
They can provide a central monitoring services. Right. Yeah.
And the next one is what we've just spoken about, actually. So is that case study in Thailand. These are from, if I'm correct, the largest real estate company in Thailand. Is that correct? Or the second largest?
The second largest, maybe.
Second largest real estate company in Thailand. And they have leveraged the solution that you've learned about today in building their own build to sell smart home.
Yeah.
And so if I'm correct, this wasn't only for inside of the home in the control of these devices, but as we can see here, this is the structure of the community. So I believe there's systems here such as parking involved. Would you mind introducing a bit more about some of the other areas of the property? Besides the smart home and the app that we saw earlier, that the residents are able to manage?
Yeah. Well, I want to introduce this case.
Sure.
Yeah. In this case in Thailand, they pick up the indoor and outdoor solutions. And in the indoor, they wanted to launch a smart home, the whole house smart home experience for their house owners. Especially, they wanted to improve the quality of their house,
right?
To get more money,
To increase the value of the home.
And in the common area, they pick up the walkway and driveway and access control and CCTV monitoring and some other common areas or smart community solutions to improvement the management efficiency. And of course, we do some customized services for them. Actually, you can own the pictures. This is a swimming pool, which means we do a mini program for them to for their resident to make appointment of the swimming pool or other common areas such as basketball hall.
Right.
So in this case, is a for loop house and real estate company solutions.
I see. So it's like the full management system, not just for controlling the IoT devices, but they can use it to control
Yes.
aspects of their life, such as, like you say, booking into the swimming pool or booking into the basketball court.
Yes.
That's good. I think it illustrates what we mean by this solution here, guys, particularly on a community level, is that often a community isn't just one home. There's a range of elements of your life that you need to interact with, and Tuya can help all of those to become smart.
Yes. But for our clients, our solution is quite flexible. They can just pick up the smart home.
Right.
But I know in the European, more and more real estate company, they will build smart apartments. So maybe they need common area solutions such as access control, elevator control, and so on. So we can support.
Good to hear. And I guess one more case here is for the China Overseas Holdings Limited, which are, again, one of, particularly the parent company, is one of China's largest real estate companies. And would you mind introducing just quickly about what we did for these guys?
This case is quite similar to the Thailand success case. And they pick up the indoor and outdoor services, but they have some customer needs than much than Busan of
Right,
Thailand. So they wanted to launch our smart home and to a house and real estate solution in their high level houses to get more living experience,
right,
and to get more revenue. Yeah, you quite success in China.
So ultimately, the common theme actually we've seen across a lot of these cases, why do they want to go and develop smart home, is that for when selling a house, it's about increasing the value of that home. How do I make it a more attractive house for the customer to want to buy?
Yeah. Oh, maybe the home builders, they want to get more revenue based on some solutions, not only IoT solution, maybe other solutions. But for the end users or the host owners, they want to get more and more comfortable living experience when they're buying a house.
I see. So it's making the bridge between those two, is that essentially building a product, i.e. a smart home, that the next generation of home buyers, these millennials who are now buying homes, will be more likely to buy.
Especially the young generation. They want to live in a space more comfortable and more technical. Smart. Yeah.
And then just, I guess, a final point is that beyond the software and hardware elements we've seen here, guys, is that we also offer a range of services that come alongside as choosing Tuya as your partner, that go extending beyond the product. So we can offer support both on the branding and growth through things like doing webinars and marketing events. We can guide you on the strategy, particularly for those of you who are new to the B2B business. We can offer a range of insights on a one-to-one level in guiding your business into making the right decisions and helping to find clients. Additionally, we can offer technical support. So you're not on your own if you sign a contract with Tuya to develop solutions. We are here and we have a fantastic team of product specialists who can help guide you and answer any questions you may have throughout not only the purchase and planning solutions, but also in the delivery towards your clients. But do be rest assured that we as our business model is here to enable this to look like your product, we work in the background. So if you have a customer service team that is servicing, say, the property company or the homeowner, that service team can come and find us to get answers should they not already have them. So it doesn't have to be Tuya speaking directly to that homeowner. And
Yes.
then I guess could you explain what we mean by channel cooperation? It's an interesting one.
Yeah, we have actually once we cooperate with you cooperate with Tuya, we have a typical team we call customer success team to help our brand owners clients to operate their own channels. And of course, in Tuya, we have some resources and ways and methods about the channel operation. So we can have some cooperations to each other.
I see. So I think it's about leveraging that network that Tuya has as a leading global IoT development platform. Is that not only is it for hardware, but it's some of the resources and other clients we may be able to help and grow your network with alongside ours.
Yes, in these potential markets, we all know that the brand should invest a lot, and we want to help our OEM customer grow. We want to grow together with them. So we want to provide not only the software and hardware services, but also the technical service and even the marketing and strategy consulting services to establish a full loop cooperation.
I see.
Yeah.
And then here's an example of that channel or the partnerships that we've spoken about earlier on, guys. So many big names that you would also recognize on here. With some of these guys, it'll be strategic cooperation. Some of them may be our customers, actually. And then others will be partners of ours who can help provide hardware. So, for example, in those common area solutions. So just to emphasize the network we have and have already worked with in developing solutions for the real estate industry. Beyond those that you see on screen that fall into that level of B2B cooperation, there's of course a wide range of partners of Tuya. But these are the ones we've worked with focusing on the real estate sector.
Yes.
So just a final note is, okay, this sounds all very good. How do we get started? So very simple. First thing you'll need to do, guys, is that you can drop an email to global.marketing@tuya.com. From there, you'll be connected to one of our specialists who has a deep understanding of that product and will most likely be based within your local region. As a reminder, we do have a local office in Europe based in Düsseldorf, and we have staff based across the region in all corners of the continent. So we will do our best to connect you with the most appropriate and local level of staff. Once you've got a better understanding of the solution and we've gauged your needs, we'll make sure that we're delivering the right product. Because like I mentioned earlier on, we have different solutions for hospitality, residential, smart building or commercial lighting, and then also the one we've seen today is that smart home for home builders. We'll make sure you've got the right solution, and once that's done, we can help get you set up with a demo account and some samples. And then from there, what you can do is, well, it's slightly easier for you guys, particularly for the smart home sector, say compared to a hotel, is that you can launch a showroom or a pilot project in which you can invite your clients to come and take a look, engage the interest. Now, this whole process here can take around 2 to 3 months, roughly, depending on how fast you want to move. But for this latest smart home solution, it will be generally a little bit quicker. So yeah, from there, once you've done all 3 of these steps, we are here to provide not only with the software and hardware, but all of the extra support services that we've just mentioned to help you get that business going and getting off the ground. So do please get in touch at global.marketing@tuya.com. And that is all for today, guys. It's been a bit of a long session, I know, but I don't think we've run over or just about stayed on time. For the Q&A for today, guys, just like I mentioned, if you have any questions, do please drop them into the box. We will collect all of them and then answer them onto a Google Doc following the meeting once we're ready to go again. But other than that, thank you very much, guys. Again, do leave your questions in the box. I would like to thank all of you for coming, and then also for Mr. Daniel Shane for taking the time today.
Thanks, Stephen.
And guiding us through.
Yeah.
And that wraps up the end of our Smart Solutions webinar series for Europe. So thanks to all of you, particularly those who've tuned in throughout the whole duration. We do hope it's been of benefit. And we look forward to seeing you all in the future at future events and webinars. So do get in touch, guys, and stay tuned for what's coming soon. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Goodbye, guys. OK，一遍过，没有，还好。
不错。